What's up, YouTube? It's Dylan from the Buddy Force here with this week's episode of the weekly news recap. So we're just going to dive right in, and today, first thing we're going to talk about is the dual overload reveals. So, obviously, we got our reveal from Farfa, the one that he talked about and the one that we mentioned last week. So, him and three other EUUG Tubers, including Rev Cards, I'm not sure who these two are. I'm just not very up to date with EUUG Tubers. They all got invited to Konami EU, and they were able to open up boxes, and we were able to compile a list of every card in the set. So, some honorable mentions that we didn't know about last time. The Artifact link is there. We've got the Herald link, Lib. Ojama Emperor is officially confirmed. We did release something. We got an exclusive leak from some guy on Instagram, and we posted that, but it is now confirmed. Some people were saying it's fake, but we have now seen it. Ojama Emperor is, in fact, in here. We've also got the new Hero Link monster coming in here. This is going to be very interesting. Heroes have been doing okay right now. I think it's just they are very Glass Canyon. They're very consistent with what they do, but I could clearly see Heroes benefiting from this. Some other imported cards. We've got the Firebrand Hymnist, some more Speedroid cards, a new Starving Venom Dragon, the Cubic and Malefic support we were promised, and what was the other one? Oh yeah, some reprints that got announced were the Last Warrior from Another Planet. That was about a $20 card prior to this reprint, so it's going to be very interesting for people to get their hands on it, especially with Waking the Dragon still being at 3. And number 27 is another card that was also around the $20 price range before this reprint got announced. It was in one of the Battles of Legends sets, and it's very exciting to see this now, because we have easy access to the Great King Magnus due to its reprint, and now we are going to have this. So I'm wondering how many people are going to start playing this now that it's more readily available. And we pretty much knew about all of these reprints as well, I believe. Zombie World in Ultra is really nice. The only other Ultra copy from Legendary Collection Joey's World was hitting around the $20 to $30 price range. So it is nice to see another Ultra Rare printing, which is presumably going to be cheaper. We also get a reprint of Hysteric Sign. I thought that was interesting. There's nothing really in here hinting towards Harpies. We did get Harpy Conductor in the last Battle of Legends set. But yes, and then for the meme, Konami decided to give us, where is it? They gave us King Dragoon. It's not the Dragoon that we wanted, but they gave us a Dragoon. I'm not sure if they were doing that to troll, but haha. Also, Seravis is a good reprint. That's always been like an optional hand trap that people have played every now and then, but it was around the $10 to $15 price range, and now it's getting reprinted. So, good for Konami. And then on to the next thing. Toon Chaos, a new TCG set that was announced for the TCG. It's based around some of the Chaos and Toon cards used in the duels with Yugi against Mai and Pegasus. Some of the things that they mentioned is that there's going to be a new Toon Blackluster Soldier that has a lot more in common with Envoy of the Beginning, so I could see some banish effects coming in. They also mentioned some new spell cards in Toon Chaos that let you channel surf until you find the tunes you want right out of the deck. So that makes me think that we're going to be getting some sort of mill card for tunes, something like Reasoning or Monster Gate, but tune specific. And then lastly, they say that we're going to get 3 new Chaos monsters for decks full of light and dark monsters, including a boss monster that fits perfectly into the Dream Mirror strategy. I didn't know Dream Mirror had a strategy. I don't see anybody playing it, and as far as I'm concerned, it's not a very good deck. And I'm pretty sure Konami's already sort of given up on it. They've already released the Plunder Patrols, so that's that on that. And we've also got the Collector's Rare coming to the TCG for the first time in forever. I've got a link right here. So if you guys don't know what the Collector's Rare is, it's basically, it says here it has a rainbow colored reflective pattern of a parallel rare, but it has like the foiling of an ultimate rare. You could see sort of on the star there and on the attribute, it's foiled like an ultimate rare, but you then got this nice reflective rainbow pattern like a parallel rare. So that's very exciting to see collector's rares coming to the TCG, especially could you imagine Extravagance as a collector's rare? That would be nuts. Moving on, we've got the entire Secret Slayers Snowflower archetype announced. They released 8 monsters originally, and then 4 spell and traps. I'm not going to go over each of these. Obviously, you guys can come and read them if you want, but the gist of them is they have a lot to do with tributing your monsters and locking you down into plants, which brings me on to the spell and traps, which all have a very interesting niche that you haven't really seen in cards prior, where the first line here, you can only activate 1 card with this card's name per turn. You can also activate this card by tributing 1 plant monster. So it's you can also activate this. So that's very interesting. Very rarely do we see a card with optional cost. So you can activate this without doing so, but so if you don't have a plant to tribute, you could still activate this card, but if you tribute a plant, you're getting more out of it. So an example would be the trap card here. You can special summon a Snowflower monster from your graveyard in defense, but if you tribute it, then if you tributed a monster to activate this card, you also get a special summon. You get another special summon from your graveyard. But it's just a generic plant this time, not a Snowflower. So it is very interesting. It's optional cost, where the card still does something, whether or not you tribute the plant anyways. And then we also got the reprint here of Titanial. We also got the announcement of the final Snowflower. It's another Xyz. Also has a lot to do with tributing plants and such to make the effects. And lastly, for Secret Slayers, we got a couple of reprints announced. We got Solemn Judgment and Upstart confirmed as a reprint, as well as Lone Fire and Galaxy Cyclone. It is very weird to see Lone Fire reprinted so soon, because we just got the reprint in Mystic Fighters, but I do think that Konami is just preparing for Master Rule 5, and a lot of people are going to be coming back to the game, and Plant Synchro was a very popular deck in its time, and with the introduction of Needle Fiber and such, I think a lot of people will lean towards trying Plant Synchro once the new Master Rule hits. Lastly, we're going to get on to, it's not really a bit of drama, but just a really interesting idea. So, earlier this week, Farfa released a video, and it was a EUUG Tuber Creator Summit with DZEEFF, Team Sam, and Team APS. And it's basically an hour-long podcast with these 4 talking about their journeys through Yugi tubing and sort of the ins and outs of how it works. And then they also give some advice on what it takes to be a Yugi tuber. So if you guys are interested in something like that, be sure to go check this out. I did watch the whole thing. I really did enjoy it. But there's one specific clip I want to talk to you about, and it's really short, so we're just going to play it here.
Started talking, and he like helps me out a lot, and like I was making like one video every like 2 weeks, and he just I would not be here without John. He changed my life. It was great.
Sorry to interrupt, but Doug, yeah. I forgive you for this, but you are one of my biggest haters.
Yeah. Well, and I'm sure we talked about that.
I forgive you. Don't worry. We're cool now.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Yeah, no. It's like, okay, here's the thing. Like,
okay, so as you can see, I think a lot of people knew this. If you have been a part of Yu-Gi-Oh for a long time, there was a period where DZEEFF did not like Team Sam at all. Made a couple videos, made a couple posts, sort of dishing on Team Sam for the whole like, putting best in his titles and stuff like that. But I do think it would be very interesting. So obviously, at one point, there was some beef between them. Obviously, Team Sam said that he's forgiven him, and then DZEEFF also talks about a big turning point in his Yugi tubing career was liking Team Sam. So since they're on a good page, but they also had some beef, I can see a boxing match happen. That's right. So as we all know, a couple months ago, some of the biggest YouTubers on the platform, KSI and Logan Paul, had a boxing match for charity. And with that in mind, considering that Team Sam and DZEEFF did have beef once upon a time, and they're friends now. Obviously, they're doing the summit together, and they have hung out at events before. I do think it would be very exciting to see a Team Sam DZEEFF boxing match for charity. They could definitely raise a lot of money, especially in the EUUG Tubing fan base, and I do think it could be interesting. It would be a way to sort of tie in our niche as EUUG Tubers into the bigger platform of YouTube. That's one of the other things that they talk about in this video, is Team Sam talking about how when he is trying to create content, he looks outside of the EUUG Tubing bubble and looks at what the rest of YouTube is doing to create content. And what better way to look outside of the EUUG Tubing bubble than at all of the drama and the beef around these boxing matches. Obviously, Drama Alert Keemstar, he's been doing a lot of coverage on the boxing matches when they were happening, and it seems like nowadays everybody's threatening everybody to a boxing match. Jake Paul just challenged some football player to a boxing match, so it's pretty much common ground these days. What do you guys think? Would you guys like to see Team Sam and DZEEFF brawl it out in a boxing match for charity? If so, then leave a comment down below telling me what you think. And that's pretty much it. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this week's weekly recap, please like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.